wants me to, I'll zoom in and turn on the light. It says it wants me to simplify the expression with only positive exponents. When I have two variables multiplied together and they're the same one, I just add. So 3 plus 6 is 9. Same thing on number 2, it wants me to simplify with only positive exponents. This one has a secret 1, so 5 plus 2 plus 1. Yeah, and this one just wants the missing exponent, it doesn't want me to write it. Okay. Anytime I have something raised to a 0 power, it turns into 1. Why am I writing t? Number 4 is looking for the missing exponent again with the question mark, so I just have to add. So 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay. Number 5 has a fraction. I subtract with the fraction, so I'm going to do 5 minus 3, and then I add the 4 because it's multiplication. So 5 minus 3 is plus 4, 6. Questions on number 5? Number 6, each one has a secret exponent of 1, so I want to distribute my 4 into them. So then I'm going to have negative 2 to the 4th power times k to the 4th power. Negative 2 to the 4th power is what? So if you guys don't remember how to do this, what are you doing? I can type it in the calculator. I want to remember my parentheses. It's 16. Is it not even on the screen because of this light? Anyways, 16. So this gives me 16 k to the 4. Number 7, when I have an exponent raised to it, yeah? 1 second. Bring it to me. On number 7, when I have an exponent raised to an exponent, I multiply them. So, what's 3 times 6? 18. Thank you. Okay. This one wants me to simplify with positive exponents, so I'm going to go through and give the numbers that didn't have exponents secret 1s, and then I go out and distribute. So I have 5 to the 4th, and I'm going to multiply the 2 and the 4 for the x, so it's going to be x to the 8 over 2 to the 4th. What is 5 to the 4th power? Mm-hmm. 625. And I know from the last problem that 2 to the 4th is going to be 16. So this would be my answer. Questions on number 8? 2 to the 4th power is 16. So if I typed it in the calculator, I did 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. Number 9 wants me to evaluate the expression for x equals negative 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and plug in for x. Okay. Remember, negative exponents turn into fractions. So the 7 stays where it is, and then it turns into a fraction with an exponent of 2 on the bottom. And then what is 4 squared? Four times 4. 16. If I absolutely forgot, thank you. If I absolutely forget how negative exponents work, I can type this into the calculator. Wait, that was a positive 4. Like this. It'll give me a decimal, but then what I want to go do is I'm going to press the math button, and then on the screen it shows me choice 1 is fraction. I hit enter twice, and it gives me 7 over 16, which we just got. Questions on 9. Typed it in the calculator, and then I went to math fraction. Why did I put what? To show you that if I forget what negative exponents are, I can type it on the calculator instead. Yep. Oh, a lot of good questions. Okay, number 10 works the same way. It wants me to evaluate the expression, so I'm going to take this 2 and plug in over here. So I have 2/5 times 2 to the 2 power. 2 squared is 4. So I have 2/5 times 4. And the 4 is over a secret 1, so I can multiply straight across. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. So my answer is 8/5. Questions on number 10? Okay. Number 11, before I go start this, exponential growth is a multiplying pattern. Exponential decay is I forgot linear. And linear is adding or subtracting. So how do I only look at my y values. How am I going from 81 to 27? Minus what? Mm-hmm. Am I subtracting 54 from 27 to get 9? No. So is subtracting right? No. Okay, what am I dividing by then? 3. Do I divide by 3 to go from 27 to 9? And to go from 9 to 3? Okay. So this gives me which choice? Linear exponential growth, or exponential decay, or neither? Exponential decay, because I'm dividing. Okay. Number 12, when it's asking me to choose the 2 linear models below, I'm looking for things that don't have exponents. So which 2 don't have exponents? C and D has an exponent. B. I'm sorry, I'm bad at hearing, okay? B and C. Questions on 12. Okay, so for number 13, I am wanting to find my percent growth. All I do is I take the number inside the parentheses, the 1.08, and I subtract 1, because remember, percents are out of 100, and 100 is 1 whole. So I do 1.08 minus 1, which gives me 0.08. And since it's looking for percent growth, I move the decimal over 2 to get 8 as my answer. Questions on 13. Why did I do minus 1? Because I wanted to find how much more it was growing, and normal, if everything stayed the same, it's 100%. 100% is 1. Okay. Number 14 is talking about scientists. Not second. Scientists looking at bacteria. They start with 150, and the number doubles every hour. So it wants me to find the expression that matches that. So because it's doubling, I know I have to be multiplying by 2. So I know it's not my first 2 choice. Huh? D? Yeah. So I have to start with 150, right? Because that's how many bacteria I have. And it says it's doubling every hour. So I know that by doubling, I'm multiplying by 2. Because that's what the phrase double means, is to multiply by 2. They're not the same thing. So like, for like 3 hours, it would give me 2 different numbers. Because this one, if I plugged in 3, it multiplies by 2 3 times. This one multiplies literally by 3. Okay. This one is giving me an equation and wants me to tell me what's happening to my investment. Because I have a 1.3 in the inside, is this larger or smaller than 1? Larger, so it is C, increasing over time, because this is larger than 1. Question? What? Yeah, 1.3 is more than 1. If it was 1, it would stay the same. If it's like 0.87, that's when it would decrease. So anything that's like a decimal without a 1 in front is decrease. Okay. Number 16 is talking about this guy's salary. It wants me to figure out how his salary is changing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his second year and divide by the first year. Nope, I thought I was 0. Yeah, and it's always second year on top. So then it gives me 1.05 when I divide. No. So what I'm going to do is I started off with $42,000, right? That was my first amount. Then in parentheses, I'm going to do 1.05. And then my exponent, they say the letter is n. So I'm going to have n. And then I'm going to do minus 1 because I already counted my first year. So when I plug in numbers, I don't want it to give me the wrong amount for different years. Questions on finding this guy's salary? Because I already started off with 1, typically we start with 0. So since I started with 1, it's 1. Number 12 is telling me this guy's buying a car and it's depreciating. So I start off with how much the car costs, which is $12,000. Then, because we always start with 1 because 1 is full. It tells me it's depreciating, so that means it's decreasing, which is subtracting. I'm going to turn the 30% into a decimal. And t is my variable here. Okay. Then all I need to do is simplify. So 1 minus 0.30 is 0.70 t. Questions on 17? One minus 0.80. I had $1 and I took away 30 cents, how much sense do I have left? Number 18 is talking about having salary over a certain amount of time. It gives me this equation. It tells me that I'm looking at the year 2010, but the data started for 2001. Ashley, stop helping me. So then I'm going to do 2010 minus 2001 to find how many years that's been. So how many years difference is that? 9. So then I'm going to plug in 9 into this equation. And then I'm going to go type this into my calculator. And since I'm working with money, I'm going to round to 2 decimal places. So I have 39,586.82. This guy's taking a lot of money. I should do whatever he does. Shut up. Okay. Number 9 wants me to combine the polynomials. So I'm combining like terms. But first, I have this negative. So what I need to do is distribute my negative and change these signs. So I'm going to rewrite this. But change all those signs after the negative. Then I'm combining like terms, so I'm looking for what they have in common. This has an x squared, this has an x squared, so 3 plus 2 is 5. Yeah. Then I have 2x, and I forgot to change my sign on this one. Positive 5x, 7x. Then I have negative 7 and 3. No, that's not this problem. Negative 4. That's when I'm multiplying that I can use FOIL. This one's just adding and subtracting, so I just combine like times. Okay. Number 20 is kind of the same way. It's finding the perimeter. I have 4x, 2x, x, x, 2x, x. Okay. So then I want to combine like terms. I have 4 plus 2, which is 6 plus 1, 7 plus 1, 8 plus 2, 10 plus 1, 11 x's. Then I have negative 6. Whoa, I didn't want to write that there. I have negative 6. Wait, let me look at my other picture. So I remember. Then I have negative 4, positive 1, positive 3, positive 1, positive 13. What's negative 6 minus 4? Negative 10, because they're both negative. Negative 10 plus 1. Negative 9 plus 3. Negative 6 plus 1. Negative 5 plus 13. You can put that in the calculator. Positive 8. Questions on 20. Number 21 is talking about a sports park, and it tells me that the entire area of the park is this first equation. The second area is just for soccer fields. So I am going to start off by writing my first one. It tells me that the area for the soccer field, or I want to find the area not for soccer fields. So I'm going to subtract away my soccer fields. Just like before, I'm going to go through and distribute my negative. Then I want to combine like terms, so I have 9x squared and negative 2x squared. So 9 minus 2 is 7. Then I have negative 4x and positive 5x. 5 minus 4 is 1, so just x. And then I have negative 5, negative 3. Negative 8. Questions here? Yeah. Whenever I'm adding and subtracting, I'm combining like terms. Okay. Number 22 wants me to find the product. I can use distributive or box method here because of the 3 term. I'm going to go ahead and use box method. Okay. For this one, I multiply my big numbers and I add my exponents. This x has a secret 1. Oh, so does this x. So then, what's 3x times 2x squared? 3. 3x times 4x squared. 3x times 1. Just 3x because this one didn't have an x. I have 2x squared times negative 1. Negative 2x squared. Negative 1 times 4x. Negative 1 times 1. Negative 1. So then I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. I only have one thing with a cubed, so I write 6x cubed. I have negative 2x squared and positive 12x squared. Yeah. This one's 12, this one's negative 2. So 12 minus 2 is 10. Then I have negative 4x and 3x. So give me negative x. And then I have this negative 1 at the end. So questions on 22? Okay. 23, when it wants me to find the product, and it has an exponent, I go and I rewrite it a second time. I'll solve this one by foiling. So remember, foiling is first numbers go together. So 5x times 5x is 25x squared. Then I have 5x times 2. 10x. Then I have 2 times 5. 10x. And then I have 2 times 2. No x, just 4. Okay? Then I just have to combine like terms in the middle. So my 25x squared stays the same. 10 plus 10 is. And then I just have the 4 at the end. Questions on number 23? factor completely, so I'm looking for what multiplies to negative 36 and adds to negative 9. The 6. Okay, what are things that multiply to 36? Okay, the 6 and 6 add to 9. Okay. Just 12 and 3 add to 9 if one of them's negative? Yeah. So then what I'm going to do in parentheses, I'm going to have x minus 12, and then x plus 3. Number 25, since I have a 2 out front and I can't divide everything by 2, I'm going to do the AC method. So, A is 2, C is negative 12. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. What multiplies to negative 24 that adds to negative 5? 6. Okay, so negative 8 plus 3 into negative 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to split out my middle. And instead of writing negative 5, I'm going to write negative 8x plus 3x. Then I'm going to split them into 2 sets of parentheses, and I'm going to look for what I have in common in each. So what do I have in common in my first set of parentheses? Just 2? They also have x's that I can pull out. Okay. So I write 2x out front, and then what I get left over on the inside goes on the inside. So 2x squared divided by 2x is x. Negative 8 divided by 2x is negative 4. Over here in the second set, what do they have in common? Divide them by 3. And then what I get left over, I write on the inside. 3x divided by 3 is just x. Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. Notice I wrote the green thing twice. So what I can do is, I did not give myself the green. I'm going to write a new set of parentheses with the 2 outside pieces together and the green piece at the end. Questions on 25. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for number 26. So I'm going to find AC. 15 times negative 4 is negative 60. What multiplies to negative 60? That adds to 17. Nope. Negative 3 and positive 20. Multiply to negative 60 and add to positive 17. So I'm going to go split this up. Then I set it inside my 2 sets of parentheses. What do I have in common in my first group? Yep, both of them can be divided by 3x. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5x. Negative 3x divided by negative 3x is just negative 1. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the second set. What goes into 20 and goes into 4? 4 divides them both. Okay, and then I'm just going to group them together. Questions on 26. Okay. Number 27, I want to factor. Notice I have no number in the middle, so I want to find the square root of 36. What number multiplies by itself to be 36? 6 times 6. Because I have no number in the middle, one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. Questions on 27? Okay. Number 28 wants me to factor completely. I'm going to go ahead and do the AC method again. So I have 4 times 25, which is 100. What multiplies to 100 and adds to negative 20? Multiplies to 100 and adds to negative 20. Ten and 10. Negative 10 and 10. Right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to go split this up. So I have 4b squared minus 10b plus 25. Then I split it into my two groups. What do I have in common in my first group? Yep, 2b. Then 4b squared divided by 2b is, 2b. And negative 10b divided by 2b is negative 5. Okay. What does the second group have in common? I'm actually going to go with negative 5 because I don't want the first number to be negative. So then I write negative 5 out front. What's negative 10b divided by negative 5? Positive 2. Positive 25 divided by negative 5. No, negative 5. Then I go through and I'm going to go just write it again. Notice what I wrote in the pink and purple stuff is exactly what I had in green. So instead of writing it again, I'm just going to write squared because I have two of the same. Questions on 28. Okay, number 29, since it's two pieces again, I'm going to look at taking the square root. What's the square root of 16? Yeah, what? 16. 4. Okay, what's the square root of 4x squared? 2x. So, one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. Questions on 29? On number 30, what multiplies to negative 9? Yep, so one's positive, one's negative. Okay, number 31, it wants me to factor completely, but notice all three of these numbers can be divided by 5. So I'm going to start off by dividing them all by 5 to make things easier on me so I don't have to do the AC method. So I'm going to write 5 out front, and then what I get left over, so 5x squared divided by 5 is just x squared, 5x divided by 5 is just x, and 100 divided by 5 is just negative 20. So now I'm looking for what multiplies to negative 20 and adds to 1. Which one has to be negative? Negative 4. So then the 5 stays out front. It's going to be x minus 4, x plus 5. Questions on 31? Okay. Moving. Okay, so number 32 is kind of the same. I'm going to divide because they're both divisible by 7. So I have 7 out front. And then x squared. What's 63 divided by 7? Negative 9. So I can factor this. What multiplies to negative 9 and adds to 0? Questions on 32? Okay. 33 is the sock problem. I have 7 black socks, 2 red, and 6 yellow. So I add them together and I get 15 total socks. The first sock choice I want, I have all 15 socks in the drawer. I want black, so there were 7 black socks in the drawer. Then I'm holding on to the sock because I'm hoping for a pair. So now there's only 14 socks in the drawer. How many of them are red? 2. Okay? Okay. Then I just want to multiply these fractions. I'm going to do that on my calculator. I don't remember. Yeah, 2/65. Yeah. Now someone just parentheses me. Oh, that's a little off the screen. Questions on this one? Yeah? Lone socks. It's like your non-matching sock drawer and you're trying to find one that matches. Okay, number 34 is talking about independent events. This time I'm working backwards. It tells me the total amount and then it wants me to find the probability of B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the total, which is 1.36, and I'm going to divide by 0.34. Anyways, it's 0.4. Questions on 34? Okay. 35 is working backwards. It tells me how many, or it tells me my final probability. I need to figure out how many socks I had. Okay, so how many total socks did I have? No. 16. They wanted red. How many of them are red? 5. So I multiply, and the calculator gives me 1/15. You're working backwards, so you flip it. So I'm looking for the one sock. Which color had one sock? Pink. So my answer here is pink. Questions on 35? Okay. 36 is talking about 2 bags of marbles. I have a total of 15 marbles in my first bag. and a total of 15 marbles in my second bag. It wants me to pick red marbles out of both bags. How many red marbles did I have in the first bag? How many did I have in the second bag? 8. So I multiply straight across. 2 times 8 is 16. 15 times 15 is 225. That's my answer. Last one is asking for independent. This is when they match. Dependent is when they don't match. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two fractions, 12 over 17, and multiply by 8 over 17. I multiply straight across. 12 times 8 is 96. 17 times 17 is 289. Do they match, these two? Yes. What? Yes. You just have to turn it back into a fraction because it gives you decimals. Okay, so they match and it's going to be independent. Questions here?